So the tragic shooting at the Highland Park on 4th of July parade has highlighted the Democratic state's attempt to push back on the Second Amendment rights despite already existing with heavy restrictive gun laws. Here to discuss is editor of Bearing Arms and the great host of the podcast Bearing Arms as well. You need to listen to it, Cam Edwards. Cam, appreciate you being here.
Hey, thanks, Carl.
All right, so you know a thing or two about guns, seeing this is what you actually do for a living. Illinois has super major double secret probation gun laws. They have red flag laws. They have very restrictive policies in order to vet who can get permits and firearms and various things like that. It still happened. What do you make of it?
Well, listen, I mean, we know that these gun control laws don't work. Just look at what happened in places like Chicago when they banned handguns outright, beginning in 1982, right? I mean, the homicide rate started soaring. We saw this in Washington, D.C. as well. Committed individuals who are intent on carrying out violent attacks, sadly, will find a way. We saw this in Japan yesterday. But I think the real question here in Highland Park is why didn't the police or the family actually step up to do the things that they could have done that would have prevented this individual from being able to purchase a firearm? So we know that the family did not invoke the state's red flag law in 2019 by the fact that police were called out to the home twice, once for suicidal ideation, once for a threat to kill family members. But the police also have resources. They're not able to institute a firearms restraining order in Illinois, but there is a civil commitment law. And so they could have said, this guy fits the criteria. He's posing a threat to himself and others. We're going to take him in for a mental health evaluation. If that had happened, and if he had been found to be, again, a danger to himself or others, then not only would have he received treatment, but he would have been adjudicated as mentally defective. He would have lost the ability to purchase a firearm. It wouldn't have mattered if his dad had endorsed his FOID card application. He would have been a prohibited person. But that didn't happen. So once again, you could put all of the laws that you want on the books. Criminals are going to find a way to ignore them. But sadly, the system ignores those laws a lot of the time, too.
Right. That is the problem. And when we do arrest people for gun crimes, we don't prosecute the gun crime. We prosecute for something else. Therefore, they're not prohibited from buying or getting another gun later on. All right. The new latest push by New York, this is, you and I have talked about this offline a number of times. Gun applicants in New York will have to submit their social accounts for review. Now, they're a little ambiguous about it, but I'm assuming even if you have a private account, you would have to do this. Now, the entire point, Cam, of this case was that you don't have the jurisdiction to say, I don't feel like this person has a Second Amendment right. Are they using this new social media vetting as a way to say this person is a danger to themselves or others?
Oh, absolutely. And this entire package of laws that were put in place after the Supreme Court's decision is designed to flout what the Supreme Court said. It's designed to chill the exercise of a constitutionally protected right. They are trying to prevent people from applying for their concealed carry license, and they're trying to limit where they can carry. They've also they made it a felony, Carl. If you accidentally or inadvertently step foot onto a gun-free zone, even though you've passed all of their background checks, you've jumped through all of their hoops and hurdles, it's still a felony offense to carry a gun into a place where you're not allowed. The entire package is a big middle finger to the Supreme Court, quite frankly. It violates not only the letter of the Supreme Court's decision, it violates the spirit of the decision as well, which, by the way, I think is why we're going to see a number of legal challenges to these new laws filed next week in New York.
And I sure hope so. I know that the same folks that had the New York versus Bruin case are filing new suit on that. I've been listening to your podcast very attentively to you to talk about that. And the other thing, too, is if this is not a second-class right, as Clarence Thomas notes in his majority opinion, then why do my rights end at the Connecticut state line? Because I cannot apply on their all-digital website now, by the way, because I do not have a New York State driver's license. Cam Edwards, as always, pleasure, sir.
Thanks, Carl.
All right.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest-growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.